you doing? Welcome to my channel. This is Nelly's Kitchen. For those who are new in this channel, please do not forget to subscribe and hit the bell button below. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make fluffy white rice. Yes, I know that sounds very basic, but trust you me, there are people who do not know how to make perfect rice. Yeah, so in this video, I'm going to share with you all my tips and tricks to making the perfect fluffy rice. Let's get to it. So thankfully these days we have rice, packed rice that's already sorted, so we don't have to sort the rice. And like when you buy rice from the wholesale stores, which sell rice that they weigh for you depending on the amount that you want, which usually you have to sort through the rice. Yeah, so we're going to use 1 cup rice. And the rule of thumb is usually when you use 1 cup rice, you're going to use double the amount of rice for the water. So if it's 1 cup rice, then we're going to need 2 cups of water. And I'm using Basmati rice, as I already said, and we're going to wash this rice. The reason for washing is to remove the starch from the rice, so that to prevent the possibilities of it sticking to itself. There's some rice that you don't really need to wash because I think it's really polished, so they remove a lot of the starch. But there's some rice, if you don't wash, it might stick to itself. Yeah, so we have our 1 cup of rice. I'm going to use 2 cups water. Into the water we'll add salt and a bit of oil just to ensure that our rice comes out fluffy. So there are 2 methods of making rice. You can either add this rice into the water directly. When the water is cold, then we put it on the fire for you to start cooking, or you can boil the water first, then add the rice after the water has boiled. So when I use the cold water method, I usually reduce the amount of water, so I won't put the ratio of 1 to 2, 1 being the rice and 2 being the water. I will reduce the water a bit, so I'll probably do 1 to 1.5. The reason for that is because I figure the rice stays longer and the water takes longer to boil, so that's almost like soaking the rice in a way. You can also pre-soak your rice for 30 minutes before you cook it. So look at which method works for you. But today we are first going to boil the water, then we'll add the rice that we have already washed. So give your rice 1 quick stir, then cover and let it bring it to a boil. Then after it starts boiling, we're going to reduce the heat so that it doesn't end up you don't end up with having bits of rice that are not fully cooked. Yeah, so if your heat is too high, your rice is not going to fully to cook well. So once it comes to a boil, you're going to reduce the heat and let it simmer. So once all the water has been absorbed, we're going to check on our rice. First of all, we're going to check if all the water has been absorbed, and it has. And as you can see, our rice is fluffy. So I'm going to switch off, turn off the heat, and fluff the rice with a fork. This is very, very important, otherwise it might end up getting compacted, for lack of a better word. Yeah, then we're just going to check if our rice is completely cooked. And it is. Now, if the water has already, if all the water has been absorbed and you feel like your rice is still a bit wet, although this is not, you can switch off the heat. Then you cover either with aluminium foil, just so that the residual water gets absorbed and your rice becomes dry. This is usually the process that goes on when people cover. You put a lid, then you put hot coals on top of the lid to help fasten that process. Yeah, so that's just the whole point. But if you, of course, in this setup we are not using charcoal, so you can just simply cover for about 5 minutes. Or if your rice feels still a bit too hard, you can cover and let it stand for about 5 minutes before serving. But that's about it. That's how easy it is to make perfect fluffy rice. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something new. If you make your rice differently, please let me know in the comment section below. Do you use the cold water or the hot water method, and why? Until next Wednesday, bye. Do not forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. And welcome all the new subscribers. Welcome to the family. Thank you so much for your support. Goodbye.